Do you ever feel guilty about not doing so much as a leader? About just taking time to chill out, read a book, put less on your plate? If you do, then today I want to give you permission to do less. And I'll tell you a little story about how I first learned about the power of doing less. And it has to do with my mom. And I'm going to tell you that in just a moment. But first, in case you are new here, I'm Sarah Olivieri, and I come to you every week right after my coaching call with my amazing clients, those executive directors and CEOs of nonprofits who are making the world a better place every day. And I like to take one tip that came out in that call that's really relevant and give it to all of you so that you can benefit as well. So one of our clients today was saying it really meant a lot to just be given permission to do less. They've been very busy. And I had shared a story the other day about my mom who ran a private independent school for 17 years. And she had taken it on like so many nonprofit leaders just because no one else would do the job. And towards the last number of years in her job, she told me that she actually spent a significant portion of her time as head of school in her office playing solitaire on the computer. Now, why was this? Is it because she's a slacker? No, it was because, well, two things had happened. One, she had done the work of delegating and getting everything running smoothly. But two, she realized that as the head of school, she was the one who needed to be available to deal with crises or put out fires or deal with the unexpected, make a lot of decisions that didn't have, were kind of one-off decisions. And if she didn't create and hold space to have the time to make these decisions, then she's actually compromising the organization by not doing something that needs to be done in order to attend to something that's suddenly come up that's urgent. And so by holding space, having less on our plate, we actually are mitigating a lot of risk for our organizations. So that's the number one reason why I am giving you permission as an executive, as a CEO, as a leader to do less, to put less on your plate. Reason number two is most leaders of organizations are also one of the primary drivers of the organization's vision. And you can't have vision and be thinking about 10 steps ahead. What are we doing in 5 years? Putting together, connecting dots that are not so obvious and having those big aha moments if you don't have a significant amount of brain time in your day. And how do you get that brain time? Well, you have to sit around playing solitaire, reading a book, going for a walk. It's going to kind of depend on you. For me, I love to dive into some courses or read some books and just kind of consume whatever I want without any purpose and just let my brain go wherever it wants to go. But it might be different for you, whatever it is to get that brain time. That's part of the work. That counts. And I give you permission to count that as a really valuable part of your work. Because if you or other people in your organization aren't doing that work, the brain time work, well, then you're depriving yourself of an amazing future, because that is where you figure out the future. That is where you get ahead of the game in that time. So that is my second reason why you should be putting less on your plate. And my third and final reason for today, at least, is that when you do less, when you put less on your plate, you actually accomplish more. You actually gain more momentum. The results start speeding up. So many of us are going unnecessarily slow because we're trying to do too much at once. So the ironic truth of it all is the less you do, probably the more you're going to accomplish. And a side note, because we had a great conversation about single moms, dual working parent families, the need for childcare, the lack of childcare, and the causes that can create for organization, for people and employees, is that really think about like how much time, right? How much time do we really have available to be great, wonderful workers at our organization? And it looks like I'm frozen. There we go. I'm back. So, in my life, I am a mostly single mom. And I have a 10-year-old son, and sometimes there's childcare and sometimes there isn't. And what I realized is my true availability to be fully present for my work and to be effective and efficient is, get this, somewhere between 65 and 90 hours a month. That's right. You heard me, not a week, a month. And realizing that freed me from this problem I was having as I was getting burnt out a little. I was getting overworked and I wasn't making great progress and I wasn't working on the most important things. But I kept telling myself that, Sarah, you only work 20 hours a week. That's not much compared to most people. And really accepting that for me, 20 hours a week is really max. It's really overtime a little, and giving myself permission to say that that is a lot, and to say that 60 hours a month, more like 10 to 15 hours a week, was more where I needed to be at my prime, has made a huge difference. And I'm actually accomplishing so much more. And in my case, I am incrementally working a little bit less to get from 90 hours to a target of around 60 to 65 hours a month. And I am watching my results go up. But the mental permission that I gave myself freed up so much brain space. And that's part of the secret. Because if you're telling yourself, if you're feeling guilty and having these emotions about it, that's just clouding your brain and making you less effective. If you would like to be getting tips, guidance, and permission to do all sorts of things, like my executive directors and CEOs in the Thrive program, and you want to be in the room with me on Wednesdays, I encourage you to apply to see if you're a good fit for the Thrive program. Or if you just want tips like this in your inbox and reminders weekly, you can go to pivotground.com/sign up. The link is in the description or the notes somewhere, so that you can sign up and get email notices about such tips. Until next time, I'm Sarah Olivieri. Be well and keep making the world a better place.